Seneca on anger, reason, virtue, and prevention. We've all been there. A car darts in front of you in traffic, a comment online makes your blood boil, or a simple, unexpected setback unravels your day. You know the feeling. The flash of heat, the tightening chest, the clenched fists. That's anger. It feels powerful, maybe even righteous. But what if that feeling is a trap? The Roman Stoic philosopher Seneca called anger a temporary madness. He didn't just dislike it. He argued it was the most destructive human emotion, a force that hijacks our reason and leaves a trail of regret. Nearly 2,000 years ago, he developed a practical toolkit to stop this madness before it even begins. So, let's unpack Seneca's timeless wisdom to conquer anger, not by fighting it, but by understanding it, preventing it, and rising above it through the power of reason. Lucius Annius Seneca was more than a philosopher. He was a statesman, a playwright, and an advisor to the Emperor Nero. He saw firsthand how unchecked anger could corrupt powerful souls and bring empires to their knees. His essay De Ira, or On Anger, is not an academic exercise but an urgent practical guide for living a calm, rational life. Seneca's core argument is radical. Anger is never useful, never justified, and never a tool for good. He saw it as a mental flaw to be rooted out, not just managed. This directly opposes thinkers like Aristotle, who believed in righteous anger. For Seneca, if an emotion is guided by reason, it's no longer anger. Anger, by its nature, is a rejection of reason. First, we'll see why Seneca saw anger as a unique form of insanity. Second, we'll walk through his powerful techniques for prevention, strategies so insightful they prefigured modern cognitive behavioral therapy. The core problem: why anger is a temporary madness. To grasp Seneca's methods, you must understand his diagnosis. For Seneca, anger wasn't just a strong feeling, it was a total failure of our greatest human superpower, reason. He famously wrote, "Anger is a brief madness," and he meant it literally. When we are enraged, we are temporarily insane. Our judgment is overthrown. When you're in the grip of rage, are you clear-headed? Or are you a passenger in a runaway car? Seneca noted, "Other vices affect our judgment. Anger affects our sanity. It's an abrupt takeover of the mind. In that madness, we go deaf to reason and become blind to consequences." Seneca vividly describes the physical transformation: blazing eyes, a red face, quivering lips. He compares an angry person to a falling rock which breaks itself to pieces upon the very thing which it crushes. The key insight is that anger shatters the person who wields it. This is where Seneca clashes with Aristotle. Aristotle argued for a golden mean, suggesting virtue lies in feeling the right amount of anger at the right time. Seneca found this idea dangerous. He argued that moderate anger is a fantasy, like being moderately insane. Once you open the door to anger, you have no control over how far it goes. As he writes, "If it listens to reason, it is no longer anger, the hallmark of which is willful disobedience." For a Stoic, justice and courage must come from calm, deliberate reason, not a chaotic impulse. The angry person operates from false beliefs, that we've been wronged, that rage is an appropriate response, and that this display is a sign of strength. Seneca saw through this illusion. He argued anger isn't strength, but a profound weakness. It's a confession that our inner peace is so fragile that a random event can instantly shatter it. Real power for the Stoics is the power to rule yourself. You cannot rule yourself when you're in the grips of madness. The solution: Seneca's practical toolkit for prevention. Seneca was obsessed with practical, real-world solutions. His work is a user's manual for the human soul, designed to stop anger before it starts. This isn't about suppression, it's about dissolving the conditions that allow anger to grow. 1. The power of delay, mora. If you remember only one thing, make it this: The greatest cure for anger is delay. Anger is an impulse. It thrives on speed. It wants you to react now. Delay starves the anger of the oxygen it needs. In that space, reason can walk back into the room. Modern neuroscience backs this up. When provoked, our amygdala, the brain's alarm system, floods us with stress hormones. Our prefrontal cortex, the rational brain, is much slower. By hitting pause, you're giving your rational brain time to catch up. How do you practice this? If you receive an insulting email, do not reply right away. Go for a walk. Wait until the next day. If someone's words infuriate you, simply say, "I need a moment to think about that." Even counting to 10 is an application of this wisdom. This delay is an act of incredible strength. It allows you to act from the calm depths of your reason, not the chaotic surface. 2. The Premeditation of Evils, Premeditatio Malorum. This Stoic exercise is an emotional fire drill. The idea is to spend time each day thinking about things that could go wrong. The traffic jam, the critical coworker, the spilled coffee. This isn't about dwelling on negativity. It's a form of cognitive vaccination. By mentally rehearsing frustrations when you are calm, you rob them of their power to shock you when they happen. Much of our anger is just a product of shattered expectations. Premeditatio Malorum works by adjusting our expectations ahead of time. When you get stuck in traffic after having already contemplated it, your reaction changes from, "You have got to be kidding me," to, "Ah, right, I thought this might happen. It's annoying, but it's not a catastrophe." You internalize the truth that the world is not designed to cater to you. You become a prepared strategist, ready to handle chaos with grace. 3. Cognitive reframing and self-awareness. Long before cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, Seneca understood its core principle. Our emotions come from our judgments about events, not the events themselves. To dismantle anger, you must challenge the belief that you've been hurt and that an aggressive response is warranted. First, know your triggers. What reliably sets you off? Keep a mental log. Once a trigger hits, actively reframe it. Ask yourself diagnostic questions. Is this really as big a deal as my anger is telling me? Was this action genuinely intended to harm me, or could it be ignorance or carelessness? Even if it was intentional, is rage the smartest response? What is a more charitable interpretation? Seneca tells us to see people as a doctor sees a patient. A doctor doesn't get angry at a fever. They see it as a symptom and try to heal it. When someone acts out of ignorance or fear, see their behavior as a symptom of their own internal struggles. This can instantly dissolve the desire for revenge. 4. Cultivating empathy and perspective. A primary cause of anger is a failure of imagination, a failure to see the world from anyone else's shoes. When someone offends you, force yourself to think about their situation. Maybe they are exhausted, received terrible news, or are acting from deep insecurity. You don't have to excuse their actions, but striving to understand them can neutralize the personal sting. Seneca writes, "To avoid being angry with individuals, you must pardon the whole mass, grant forgiveness to the entire human race. We must accept that humanity is flawed. People will make mistakes just as we have and just as we will again. When you look honestly at your own life, it becomes much harder to stay furious at the mistakes of others." 5. Curating your environment and influences. Seneca was a realist. One of the smartest ways to prevent anger is to be intentional about your environment. He advises avoiding provocative, cynical, or perpetually outraged people, as emotions are contagious. Instead, seek out calm, rational friends. This extends to the media we consume. If certain websites, TV shows, or online personalities constantly rile you up, you have a choice: disengage. This isn't ignorance, it's good mental hygiene. Guard your attention and emotional energy wisely. Proactively choosing environments that promote calm builds a powerful buffer against frustration. 6. Calling on virtue instead of force. But isn't anger necessary for action, for righting wrongs? Seneca's answer is brilliant. When action is required, the wise person will call force, not anger, to his aid. He means strength, resolve, and decisive action guided by pure reason. Think of a surgeon. She is decisive and firm, but she is not angry at the tumor. Her actions come from calm, disciplined focus. In the same way, you can have a difficult conversation or enforce a boundary with rational force. You can be direct and unwavering without the chaos of anger. A person who speaks calmly and with the weight of reason is powerful and persuasive. They cannot be easily dismissed. This is the difference between a wildfire that scorches everything and a focused flame used as a precision tool. Seneca gives us a profound diagnosis and a powerful cure. Anger is a temporary madness, a choice to surrender our reason. It's an illusion of strength that masks a deep weakness. But we are not doomed to be its slaves. Through delay, we create space for reason. Through premeditation, we arm ourselves against life's shocks. Through empathy, we see our shared humanity. By curating our environment, we build a sanctuary of calm. And by calling on rational force, we can act with true strength without ever giving in to madness. Seneca's wisdom is a call to action. These techniques are muscles. They only get stronger with use. For the next week, pick just one, the power of delay perhaps, and practice it. See what changes. Your journey can inspire someone else to begin their own.